Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And as you can see, today's video is going to be about inside Star Citizen, but I'm also going to throw some other little tidbits in there about 3.10, the upcoming patch. So let's start a little bit with inside Star Citizen. As you can see, the first part of this episode was all about the Vanduul ships and the reworks that they all have undertaken. Even the Blade got reworked, and the Blade is the newest one, and it's for the most part on that newer design language, so it's kind of hard to imagine, you know, why they wanted to rework it, but they did, and actually turned out pretty good if you ask me. Some of the differences that you're going to see in each of these is weapon placement. So all of them are going to be, well, the weapons are going to be placed inside the ship itself. So it's going to be almost like it's part of the ship, or the ship is part of the weapon, whatever you want to call it. They are definitely strewn together. Kind of like the Ares, which we'll see from Crusader hopefully later in the year or next year. That's going to be the heavy fighter that has the size 7 guns that are built into it. You can't change them out for different guns. Same thing with these Vanduul ships. They are just part of the ship. You just have to deal with it. And, you know, if it's anything like it used to be with the Glaive anyways, even the Scythe really, they hit really hard when the size 5s were what they were supposed to be. So if you could hit with the size 5s, you're going to do massive damage. So I would expect that to come back into play. They have made these ships, they fashioned them more like sea creatures than what their original design language was. Because the bigger ships in the fleet, like the King ship, which the King ship is their heavy carrier, it's like their space fortress, their clan ship, if you want to call it that, it looked more like, you know, as you can see, look here, it looks kind of like, you know, I don't know, a crawfish or shrimp or something along those lines, with the whiskers sticking out the front, has the shell over the top of it. Here you can see the guns built into the wings itself. It just looks sturdier than the previous design. It looks a little scarier too. You know, I like the change. I really do. I loved the originals, don't get me wrong, but I think this is more organic look to me is better. I do like that the weapons are further in and not actually the wing, so then if you lose a wing you may not lose the weapon, you know. That makes a big difference. I just like the upgraded change. Now, one thing they haven't talked about, as you can see the Blade here, how it's changed, the wings have come out wider there, is they haven't talked about the ramming capability that these ships have. Originally they all had these blades that you could extend and use to kind of hack the enemy ship in a close range fight, or ram the enemy ship with it and do serious damage. I don't know if that's still part of these ships. You know, that would be cool if it is. That should be, but we'll have to wait and find out. They did say that it's going to be more heavily armored up top, because prey, you know, usually has to worry about being attacked from above. So they're looking at it from the point of view of, you know, they're being preyed upon. So they're going to be a little bit more armored on top. So if you can get in underneath it and fire underneath it, you're going to have a much easier time penetrating their armor. See how armored the Scythe looks here? That's pretty cool. And it's got those massive guns sticking out of it. And then here's the Glaive. The rework on the Glaive looks really cool as well. And it doesn't appear that any of the wings are going to be folding up or down, articulating like they did in the previous model. Now they're just stuck in that formation, which I do like. I kind of like that. I love the articulation of everything that they've done, the mechanical stuff, but I think this fits. I think this works. It looks good to me. I'm a fan of what they've done with with all three of these ships, and I can't wait to get them in my hands. So that brings up the question, when are we going to get these? Sometime this year. So we only have 3 more patches this year, so we'll get it in one of those 3 patches. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I loved flying my Vanduul ships, especially when they were packing a punch, and I hope that they will be back to packing a punch again, especially with the upcoming changes in 3.10 that we can expect. So let's talk about some of those changes. So we're going to have the rework, more or less, of the flight model. It's not really a rework, it's just they are, I guess, refining the flight model a little bit more. This will give fixed pilots a little bit more freedom to use their weapons like they want to, whereas, you know, in 3.9, fixed weapons are just a bad idea. It's hard to hit with them. Now they're going to add a little more ESP into it to where it'll help your detection, like your hit detection, or I guess prediction. You just kind of have to get close and the weapon should find the target. It's kind of like auto gimbals in a way, but it's going to be a much smaller circle, so it's not going to feel like they're, you know, auto gimbals at all. You're just, you know, you're going to have your reticle right on the enemy ship and fire, and as long as it's pretty close to the enemy ship there, it should hit. That's the way I understand it. They're also changing the flight model up to where, you know, atmospheric flight is going to be completely different than what we have right now. Ships are going to behave more like they should aerodynamically. They're changing thruster and jerk rates and stuff like that, so each ship will have its own feel both in space and in atmosphere. That's something to look forward to. It's going to be something that's going to have to be tested, so fly as many ships as you can, test it out, make sure you give your feedback, because I'm sure they'll have a feedback area, so that they know how you feel about how certain ships fly. Obviously, a Starfarer should not fly like it's a 10-pound drone, right? So don't be putting input like that. Oh, my Starfarer doesn't fly where it's a big bus. It's not going to fly that well, so don't expect it to fly super good. Now, they did say that ships with VTOL thrusters would perform better in atmosphere because the VTOL thrusters are designed to do that, whereas something like the Gladius here will struggle and you will overheat the thrusters and eventually those will fail, and who knows what's going to happen to your ship then. And as you can see, they're adding this awesome little gun rack to the Gladius, and then these MFDs here. This is the new building blocks UI, guys. It's going to be really awesome. It's going to make things look really sharp. So those are a few new things. Then I've got information about the refineries. So the refineries, you're going to have refineries that are better at doing different ores or different materials than other refineries. So you know, if you're going to refine agricium one place, you may go there to do it, but laranite's better at another place. So you'll have to know where these places are and take it to each of the refineries to get the best bang for your buck, so to speak. They have Grim Hex. Most of 3.10 is done, guys. It's in the polishing state. So Grim Hex is updated. They have the different racing missions where you have the pick and destroy, where you'll get to kill a selected racer in the race, or scramble racing, which you kind of know what scramble races are. That's pretty much weapons live, you know, winner take all. The player trading app is going to be in 3.10, so it's officially called the Citizen Trading Application. So you'll be able to trade both merits when you're in prison and AUEC. They'll probably open that up to more stuff, but it should work whether a player's on or off, so that's cool. The Sawtooth Combat Knife should see its debut in 3.10, as well as for subscribers in 3 different colors. Delivery missions, you should be able to string delivery missions all together in one mission. So they'll have a group mission for you to accomplish and give you a higher price than, say, just one delivery. So that's cool. The Rock the Grey Cat Rock is going to be a ground vehicle capable of mining with a size 0 laser. So that's pretty cool, and it looks like that may take the place of hand mining, maybe. I don't know. We also have some of the other CitizenCon ships that they've talked about, but we don't know if they're going to be in the game. Pyro will be by the end of the year, at least half of it. They're going to split it in 2 patches, so you can expect Pyro to come out before the end of the year, guys. They're working on Vulkan, which is the Generation 12 renderer, which makes things so much better. They don't think they're going to hit that deadline of the end of the year, but you never know. Also, there is an RSI gunship that's rumored to be making its way into concept for us. So that's something to look out for. And there's all sorts of interesting things going on with the body dragging system. Pretty neat. The building blocks UI is pretty cool too. But yeah, guys, that is most of the news for the week. I hope you guys liked it. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button if you have. I'm sorry that it's taken me a couple of days to get another video out. My schedule's been quite hectic. If you wish to help me out with this channel, please check out my Patreon down below and my YouTube memberships as well. It also helps if you watch the ads all the way through and click on the ads. That helps bring revenue to the channel as well. So guys, without any further ado, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.